Literally, I have just pressed the record button on my cell phone, on my iPhone, and this is completely ad lib. The question is, do you think that China will ever invade Taiwan? Now, the Chinese government say CCP, they say Taiwan is part of China. It's a big argument that's been going on for decades, and it will continue possibly going on for decades as well. Now, how to say this? I don't want to edit it, I just want to cut, and I don't want to cut, I just want to do this, yeah. China says it's a peaceful, or the Chinese government says it's a peaceful, loving country, and they've never invaded any other country in the world. So Tibet, no, they didn't invade that. Mongolia, no, they never invaded that. Parts of the Indian border, no, they never invaded that at all. So China is a peaceful, loving country. All the islands in the South China Sea, no, that they belong to China for years and years and years. Yes, things don't change. It's like India still belongs to the United Kingdom. In fact, America belongs to the United Kingdom. So no, they are so peaceful and loving. And what has this really got to do with Ukraine? Well, whether you support Russia, whether you support Ukraine, Russia basically said Ukraine will be taken over within weeks, possibly months. But I do believe now it's in its second year. So this is David and Goliath. And Ukraine are, you could say, passionate about keeping hold of their country. China is watching this really closely and saying, so it's the big country invading the small country. Basically what's happening in the Ukraine, and Ukraine is holding on. There's lots of propaganda about Russia is better, Ukraine is a proxy war from America, yada, 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 all this kind of stuff. But Ukraine is still holding on. Yeah. So China was actually looking at Taiwan and possibly as some kind of invasion. But now they're holding back a little bit. Why? I would say they look at Ukraine and go, well, a small country is holding on against a really massive country with so many military personnel, military equipment, even though some of it is dated back to World War II, they are still holding on. So if China wanted to invade Ukraine, they're thinking about it twice because they would want a quick, peaceful, bam solution. So they're holding back for it. And if they do ever, it's going to be like at a moment's notice, and we would actually be surprised over it. And maybe Taiwan would not be ready. Whatever the case is, yeah, we obviously hope it would never happen. And possibly it would never happen if China actually became a democracy and if Xi Jinping stood down and you had more of a leader for the People's Republic of China. Note the word, the People's Republic of China. The people should choose what's happening. At the moment, like a lot of other countries, the people don't. They're just called the People's Republic of China. It's like North Korea. In a way, they call it the democratic of North Korea, or of Korea, which obviously it isn't. They're just dictated by the Kim dynasty, which has ruled the North Korea ever since the 1940s, 1950s, something like that. So what do you think? Do you think China will actually go for it and secretly do it one night? Yeah. We constantly see on Twitter and some feeds some of the military personnel in mainland China close to the shore. But for years this has happened, and for years nothing happened. What do the Taiwanese think? Well, most of them just want the status quo. They don't want to be independent. They don't want to join forces as one country again, so to speak. And why does China want to invade it? Well, Taiwan is a pillar of democracy in Southeast Asia, or in Asia in itself. And the average salary of the Taiwanese person is close to the same as America, which is like $56,000 to $60,000 per year, which is pretty good. And especially in Asia, if you lived in Bangkok, for example, wow, that would be a really, really nice salary. This is coffee chat, by the way, so there's the coffee. I did mention, and a lot of people disagreed with me, but it was just an idea which I did actually see, that Taiwan and China could be a commonwealth and there would be two different leaders, you could say, like Hong Kong. But look what happened to Hong Kong, in a way that the Chinese government said, promised 50 years, and they did keep their promise up to around about 2014 when they started to change it slightly. And the Hong Kong people, because they believe in democracy, did. 1 million people took to the streets both times in 2014, 2019, saying, we are not happy with this. It is the People's Republic of China. We are in the People's Republic of China. We, the people, disagree with this, and we're disagreeing by a protest. But like a lot of governments around the world, these protests just mean nothing to the government. I remember way back in 2000, I think it was, in the United Kingdom, there was the problems over the gasoline, the petrol, and many people took to the highways doing the go-slows, disrupting traffic, etc., etc., and there was no, you couldn't get any gasoline for your car. But the government just didn't listen, and eventually what the government wants is, well, it will fade away into the distance there. You think of COVID in China in November 2000 and when was it, 22? Yeah, basically, most countries were out of COVID. China was still in it, and the people took to the streets, and people were even slanting, down with the CCP, down with Xi Jinping. People weren't happy. But this time, the Chinese government did actually listen, and they lifted the COVID restrictions. And come January the 8th, 2023, Chinese people could travel again to different countries without the COVID pass, which or the COVID card that you may have to say that you've had 2 or 3 injections. So I don't know what will happen with this, but the thing is, it's not the government who gets affected. It's the people. It's you and I. And we just have to basically submit to what the government says, whether we like it or not. We don't really have any kind of choice, near enough, which is wrong, which is the wrong way. We vote for our leaders in America, in Germany, in France, in England, in Ireland, for example, and they all promise these wonderful things, but of course, once they get elected, they sort of get swept under the rug. It'll be really interesting to see in America the 2024 elections, and what will happen with the Democrats, and what will happen with the Republicans, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, and some other candidates who may take a stab in the dark. It's all food for thought. This video was completely unprepared. You can agree, that's fine. You can disagree, that's fine. But if you are going to leave comments, constructive criticism, don't just call me a fat, useless white boy, for example. Some constructive criticism. It's just that everyone does have a point of view. I have my point of view. Do I support Russia? No. Some people here do support Russia. That's fine. I can accept it. I don't agree with it, but I can accept it. It's the same that some people would say, what would happen with Taiwan? I believe that Taiwan should have complete autonomy. In other words, they are independent and is all done and dusted. Will it happen? I doubt it very much. I know some of you would disagree with me. Again, that is fine. Everyone is individual. Everyone has their right for their point of view. But we can discuss this in a civilized adult manner, and we don't need to be children in this manner by calling us foul words. I'm not going to use any words, but you know what I mean, and I do get them occasionally. When I'm with my friends, yeah, I would swear, but on YouTube they do have community guidelines, and I want to respect those guidelines. Hence, I will very rarely, I may say the word BS, or I may say something related to that. I may say the word crap, but these are sort of acceptable nowadays. Again, you can agree or you can disagree. let's leave it there for today. I will wish you a happy Sunday, and I will see you very soon. Don't forget to check out some of my other channels, which I'll show in a minute or two here. And I am creating a lot of shorts. The reason being is that it gets more viewers, and hopefully some of those viewers who like shorts would actually go and look onto the longer videos that I make, usually about once a day, like today over this wonderful coffee chat. Thank you very much. My name is James. Wherever you are in the world, have an epic day. Bye bye for now. Cheers.